Hi everyone, to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I'm going to teach you how to make pistachio baklava roses. These are perfect if you're hosting a spring gathering and you want something special to make, especially if you're looking for something to make for Mother's Day. This is going to be so delicious. It's very simple to put together, but it's so beautiful and of course very tasty too. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to begin by making the syrup. So in a small pot, just go ahead and add 2 cups of granulated sugar, 2 cups of water, a cinnamon stick, and the peel of either an orange or a lemon will be perfect for this. Bring the mixture to a boil and mix it all up. You can let this cook for 4 or 5 minutes so it can thicken a little bit, and then turn the heat off and stir in either 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, or you can use a tablespoon of rose water or a tablespoon of orange blossom water. All of these flavors go really well with the pistachios. Take the syrup off of the heat and let it cool completely. Now we're going to get the filling ready. So I'm using pistachios today. These are whole pistachios. I'll put them into my little food processor, and then I'll also add a tablespoon of sugar and a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Grind these up until they're very finely ground, just like this, and set them aside. So I have my phyllo ready. I put it in the fridge so it can thaw overnight, and then it was sitting at room temperature for a few hours, just so that way it's very easy to work with. We're going to cut the phyllo into 3 equal portions. This is number 4 phyllo, which is perfect for making pastries like baklava. They're the thin sheets, and they come in these packs right here. This is a 12-inch wide roll. I'll cut it into 3 equal pieces. Each piece is about 4 inches wide, and this is the easiest way to do it, just with a sharp knife. Unroll 1 stack at a time, just so that way they stay nice and moist and they don't start to crumble up. And then I'll take 4 strips of phyllo, buttering each layer and stacking them on top of each other. And then I'll just sprinkle 2 teaspoons of the pistachio mixture towards the middle and the top of the strip. Fold the bottom part over to cover the nut mixture and just to fold it in half. And then we're just going to roll them up so that way it looks like a rose. When you get to the end, brush the phyllo sheet with a little bit of butter so that way it can stick together and hold together. And look at how beautiful this looks. We're going to continue making these until we run out of phyllo. This makes about 16 roses. These are big roses. You can make these a little bit smaller if you like by using less phyllo. You could even fold them a little bit smaller so they're not so high, but they look so beautiful. These are going to go into a baking tray. I'm just using a 9 by 13 inch baking tray. That just works perfectly. You can do this in 2 smaller baking trays if you're not baking them all together, and you could freeze a batch and bake a batch or bake them as you need them. These also bake up really well in muffin tins if you want to use that instead. This is just easier to clean up. So they're going in, and I'll use the remaining butter to brush the tops and the sides of each of the roses. These are going to bake in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes or until they're beautifully golden and crisp. As soon as they come out of the oven, I'm going to pour the syrup over all of the roses. Let this sit at room temperature for about an hour so that syrup can be absorbed. There's still going to be some syrup at the bottom, which you can use to just scoop it over the top of each rose. You can garnish them with some finely chopped pistachios, and they're ready to serve. And that's it. Just like that, you'll have pistachio baklava roses on your table. Again, they're very easy to make, as you saw if you follow my steps. You can't go wrong with these, and they freeze well too. So if you're going to freeze them, they're always best to be frozen before they're baked. So once you assemble them and you butter them and everything like that, you can just put them in the freezer. Once they're frozen solid, wrap them up, whether the tray or if you have them in a little freezer safe bag. Put them in something that's freezer safe, like lots of plastic wrap and foil would be perfect, just so that way they don't dry up or absorb any of those freezer smells. We want these to taste delicious and aromatic. Let's do the taste test. So good. The phyllo, of course, is buttery. I love the bottom layers of phyllo that are soft from the syrup. They're buttery and soft, and they just melt in your mouth. The top of the roses are still crispy, just because they didn't get soaked in the syrup, and I love it like that. I really like the pistachio with the cinnamon. I normally pair pistachio with brighter flavors and more floral flavors like rose water or orange blossom water, but I do love the cinnamon in it. It makes it a little bit warmer. But of course, you can do the rose water if you like and leave the cinnamon out, or the orange blossom water. They go beautifully with pistachio. I would serve these with some hot coffee. If you want to get really decadent, a scoop of ice cream, vanilla ice cream would be delicious with this, or even mastica ice cream. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. You can print it out on the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes, us.